Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Power Season 5, Episode 5. This was the best episode of the season so far. It was lit. It was fire. Seeing Kendrick Lamar, he did a great acting job. He was just wonderful. He was believable, even though he was a cussy. And also hearing Mobb Deep's music in the background was on point. Just hearing, Prodigy was just like just on point. It was just really a really good episode. Let's just start off with like some of the crap that went on. We got Tommy. Tommy's actually acting very smart and very intelligent. He's not all the way trusting his father, but he wants to trust his father. And also, working along with Angela with the GPS that was on his car, and actually going back to Angela and talking to her and put the GPS back on so he can lead her to Diaz, the Jimenez, and Alicia and Dre, and actually, probably being convinced to do it by his father, having that conversation. And actually, now Tommy actually sees how his father really think about snitching and telling, and if it doesn't affect you and the family, then maybe snitching is okay. But even though Tommy does not like snitches, but he does try to solve his problem with the Jimenez by going to Angela and working along with her. And actually, Proctor bringing Angela and Tommy together was crazy. I did say this yesterday that I believe Tommy, Proctor, Angela, and Ghost are going to work together because they have John Marks. They have, Tamika too as well. And, Sax coming after them and want them all locked up. Really Ghost and Angela for the most part. So we'll see how that situation plays out. And then Tommy actually calling, Tariq a snitch, like let him know that I know that you're a snitch. And also, Tommy trying to sever ties with, Ghost, saying it's done. You don't have to worry about me or Teresha, And then also Tommy listening to Kanan trying to tell him about you can do things on your own. You don't need Ghost all the time. Who's Ghost? Your master, your boss. And giving Tommy, the fortitude to think as well. And Tommy having more confidence in himself too as well. And then we have Kanan. He is the mastermind. He is doing everything under the sun behind closed doors, actually getting Cristobal and Dre to actually go against each other. He did tell Tommy about this plan. And now he got Cristobal and, Dre kind of like going against each other, and especially Cristobal questioning, Dre, like, yo, I see how you got to the top, how you took out Julio and all the things that you did, and your man is coming after me. I know it's your man. I don't believe it's Tommy. I don't believe it's Ghost or Kanan. I believe it's your boy because he wants to be the number 2 spot. I was like, 2-Bit. I think his name was 2-Bit. So I was like, okay, we see how it's itching together. And then also, Dre actually being the face of the Queen's Project. And then, having Councilman Rashid Tate come to his defense and help him. And then also, Dre losing his position at the club, with the hotels with Karen, and Ghost actually maneuvering that deal. But it seems like Dre's still going to come out on top because he talked to Diaz at the end of the episode. And he kind of convinced Diaz that, hey, all the troubles and all the problems are coming from Ghost, Kanan, and, Tommy. So they're the biggest problem. And Diaz said, yes, let's go after them. My sister don't need to know about this. But Diego was kind of upset with Tommy, thinking that Tommy planted that gun in the warehouse, not knowing Alicia planted the gun. So now when Alicia finds out that Diego and Dre are going behind her back to go to war because she doesn't like war, she doesn't like violence, and she's the head of the Jimenez, cartel, so it might give her a reason to take out her brother because she's been wanting to take him out. So Dre is playing his role because he knows the brother and sister got like conflict going on, so that's good too as well. And then Dre keeping himself close to Ghost and being on the Queen's Project situation, and so it helps him because it's actually getting under Ghost's skin, and then it keeps him alive too as well, him building these relationships and being in public with around Ghost and people that Ghost deal with business financially and on a business level. And having Dre around is a good look because if something happens to Dre, people would suspect Ghost, and that's what Ghost thinks too as well. So that's why he doesn't want to move on Dre right away. So, Ghost is having so many difficulties. He's having Dre, being the face of his project, Dre everywhere. And then on top of that, having Tasha move out and leave him. And then on top of that, just having the anger of losing Raina. And then also having an argument and a fight with Tariq, and not being honest and truthful to Tariq. And then Ghost trying to make sure Tommy doesn't fall victim to snitching from Tereshi. And then also taking a look at Kanan, making sure he's cool, making sure he ain't doing nothing underhand, and have to work with him and trust him, and get Diego and Alicia out the way too as well, so he can take out Dre, and then secure that bag for Jason, where Jason will let them off the hook. But it also seems like Ghost is scared of, or he feels inferior to Councilman Rashid Tate, because it's like he's the only person that he doesn't really go after, or he can't make any maneuvers after. And then when he had the meeting with Councilman Tate and Dre and Simon Stearns, Councilman Tate actually was like, yo, listen, it's a formality for me to tell you, hey, listen, Dre's going to be the face, but you know what? I'm going to make him the face, that regardless. And so then Ghost goes, Simon, you're going to let them do this? Simon is just like, it's like he couldn't come up with a plan or a resolution at that time. And it's like he feels like he's defeated by Councilman Tate, because Councilman Tate is probably from the streets. And then becoming, he's a councilman, and he's going to be running for Senate soon too as well. He feels kind of like inferior because he's a drug dealer from the streets as well. And I don't think he thinks that he can match Councilman Tate. And then Simon Stearns tell Ghost, hey, listen, you slither your way out of everything that I've tried to put you through, then slither your way out, slither. And so we'll see what happens with that situation. Then Tariq finally being called a snitch, and Tariq finding out that his mother and his father feel like Raina, that they blame him for Raina being dead. And also Tariq realizing that his mom rather him being aground than Raina, and so that hurts too as well. And then Ghost still not telling him the truth and not being honest with him, leaves the door open for Kanan to come and tell him the truth. And also Tommy being there for Tariq all these years, and Tommy actually letting Tariq know that he knows that he's a snitch. He gave Dre the warning, he gave Dre the heads up, but Tariq don't feel no harm or no guilt for that, because he had to do what he had to do, and that was get rid of Ray Ray. And that's when Tommy lets him know, you just like your daddy, you just like your father. And so it seems like Tariq is going to go for the streets, and he hooks up with Kanan, which I predicted yesterday. I just knew he was going to hook up with either Kanan or Dre, but because right now his family's in shambles, his mother's moving out the apartment, his mother might be facing jail time, which Tariq thinks because of Tariq actually killing Ray Ray with his mom's gun, and then the cops coming looking for that gun, and Tasha reporting the gun stolen. And it checks out, but it also looks like Sergeant Blanca, she's after Angela and whoever killed Ray Ray, who's ever involved in Ray Ray's murder. The dirty NYPD Ray Ray, she's after them, and Tasha's on that list, James St. Patrick's on that list, and Angela's on that list, and Tommy's on that list. She's trying to get down to the nitty gritty. And also, at least Terry was there to help, Tasha, but now Terry also feels like Tasha is hiding and keeping secrets for James St. Patrick, her husband, and thinking that she's knowing that she's lying to the cops, because he's seen the gun in the sink, he's seen her wash it, he's seen her with the gun, he's seen her put the gun in a safe. So he knows that she's lying when she told the police officers that she reported the gun stolen. And he was like, well, make up your mind, either you're going to be a victim, or you're going to be a casualty, or you ghost partner in crime, but let me know. And so we already know, Terry Silver might be telling that to Simon Stearns. So Simon Stearns still has a lot of information on Ghost, probably if Terry Silver tells Simon Stearns. So that's a big situation going on with that. And so Tasha's worried. She's still dealing with the loss of Raina, actually buying Raina a happy birthday cake. This is happy birthday Raina, when it was supposed to be Tariq birthday's cake, because they are twins and have the same birthday. So there's gonna be some problems. OMG, it's going down. And Angela finding out that her team is up against her and trying to get her, and also Angela finding out that Sax and Mark are actually trying to put the GPS back on Tommy to activate it, and they're building a private case. And Tamika actually finally telling Angela this is what they're doing. Angela feels like she's being undermined, and she's the head of the office, and why don't she know about this private investigation? So she knows that things are going down, and she also knows that Donovan done told Tamika about her seizing the information from Sergeant Blanca and closing her investigation, which got Tamika worried. But Tamika also let Sax and Marks know that they have to come up with some information by the end of the day, or she's gonna call off the investigation. And they have came up with that information at the end of the day. Tony Tereshi came through and snitched on Tommy, saying that Tommy is laundering money through Ghost's club. And so it's a bad situation. And we see Angela reaches out to John Marks to get to Tommy. So this is going down. It's serious. It's getting real like you won't believe. I'm just like, yo, it's crazy. So let's get started on the episode. Like, oh my god, it was so much going on, like it's not even playing. So we have Vince. Vince calls a meeting. Tony Tereshi's there, Sammy's there too as well, and also Tommy's there. And so Vince was like, yo, I got some questions to you, Tommy, about that shooting that went down. Who was the person that came over here and shot up the place? We know that Kanan and actually Ghost put that plan together to get the Italians to turn on Tommy, to leave him alone so they wouldn't have to kill nobody. And so Vince was, that was Ghost's plan, and Kanan executed it. And so Vince was like, you know what, you lied to me, Tommy, so somebody gotta die. Sammy, you lied too. Sammy, get on your knees, give Tereshi the gun and told him to pick one. And Tereshi was going to kill Sammy, and he pulled the trigger on Sammy. And so his best friend Sammy was like, damn. And so then Vince was like, you guys, I washed my hands of you. You guys are out. I'm not dealing with you anymore. So the Italians officially washed their hands of Tommy and Tony Tereshi and Sammy, and they're not going to be moving drugs or dealing with any type of business with Tommy anymore. They're done. And so Sammy feels a certain type of way that, damn, Tereshi was going to shoot me. And then Tereshi lets him know that, hey, listen, I felt the gun. It was like he felt like there was no bullets in the gun. Okay, but maybe he did. Maybe he didn't, because he's been holding guns for years. So who knows? But it makes it also seems like he actually loves Tommy and Tommy's head. But Tony Tereshi has to keep Tommy alive, because that's the only way he's going to stay out of prison, if he actually gets some information on Tommy where they can bring it back to James St. Patrick and also to Angela. And so this begins the bond and relationship that it seems like it's developing between Tommy and Tony Tereshi, but we'll see what happens with that. So Tommy was like, damn, my father just went in for me, whatever. So he's happy that, damn, he really loves me or something like that. He feels like that bond with his father. So Tommy gets with James St. Patrick, and he gets with Kanan and let them know what happened. It was like, oh, why did he do that? James is like, why he do that? Why would he shoot his best friend and not kill you, whatever? They're questioning that. And then Ghost and Kanan are like, okay, cool, this sounds good, because they actually put that plan together and they're sitting in there listening to it. So it's just like, okay, all right. And so then when they hear about the shooting and Vincent getting shot in the shoulder, Ghost is looking like nobody was supposed to get hurt. So that's when Kanan jumps in, was like, oh, listen, I took care of the shooters, I took care of them or whatever, so that's done. So Ghost is whatever. And so Ghost was like, yo, listen to Tommy, make sure your father knows nothing about our business or anything that we are doing together at all. And so that's when Tommy was like, no, don't worry about Tony Tereshi, don't worry about me, because we don't have to be associates. Once this shit is over, we done. Because Tommy wants to kill Dre, he's ready for Dre. And that's when Ghost was like, no, you can't kill Dre right now, because Dre is in the charitable event, he's getting close, he's in the Queen's Project, and if something happens to him, because we're having beef and issues, I'm going against Tate with this situation, that they might think that I'm the one that that went after Dre. So I can't. I was like, oh, when you gonna stay up for TV? Is this all about just fame and fortune, being on TV, Ghost? And so Tommy was like, okay, yeah, I won't say your name. You know, once I take care of all this business, we don't have no affiliation, no association, no business, no nothing. So Tommy's actually trying to write out Ghost and tell Ghost he don't want nothing to do with him no more. He don't want to do business with him no more. You know, at the time being, right now, they're just gonna work together because they have to with this money situation. But Tommy's letting it be known that he don't want to be bothered with Ghost no more. And Ghost was like, you don't believe that. So actually, you know, 50 Kanan and Ghost plan actually kind of work in this situation, but we'll see what happens with this. This is just crazy. And then that's when Kanan lets, you know, Tommy know, hey, listen, you know, you don't have to listen to Ghost. You can go after Dre. You can go after anybody you want to. He's not your father. He's not the be all to say all. Come on, man. You know, Ghost is just like, you know, the girl from Charlie Brown, always playing tricks and moving a puppy or whatever. So we'll see what happens with that situation. Then we have Terry. He meets up with Tasha. She buys a cake, and then the people at the deli were like, at the bakery were like, oh, you know, you want the same as usual for Raina and Tariq, and then she has a pitfall in her heart because of her son and her daughter, and then actually thinking about Raina being gone. So that was like a big problem. And so then, you know, Angela confronts Tamika about the GPS and all this other stuff, and Tamika said, yes, you know, that is going on, blase in the third. And so then Angela, John Marks, and Sax, and Donovan and Tamika, they have a meeting, and they actually talk, and Angela actually brings up, you know, going after Diaz and Alicia, and having CTV video of where they went, where they go, and they can put things together and build a real case. And Angela's told to leave it alone because you heard Steve, you know, we can't do anything. So Angela's feeling a certain type of way about that. But right now, there's nothing she can do with, you know, any evidence that she get. Only thing she can do is just collect evidence until she builds a solid case against them. And if Angela's actually able to build a solid case against the, you know, Jimenez, you know, brothers, then she might actually be helping Ghost out in a situation, and most likely Ghost can help her out too as well, because he knows all the information on the Jimenez brothers. Only if they have a conversation and talk like they used to before, he can give her the drop in the details. But she might not really need it from Ghost, because Tommy and her are going to be working together, and he put the GPS on his car. So we'll see how that situation take place. And you got Tony Tereshi. He's talking to Sammy, telling Sammy, I wasn't going to shoot you, I wasn't going to hurt you. I knew that the gun was light, but we have to do something about the situation, because, you know, Sammy's like, yo, we can't eat, we don't got money, we don't got a job, you know, they just really kicked us out. And so then that's when Tony Tereshi was like, well, we got Tommy, so we'll be good with Tommy. Everything be going with Tommy will be legit. Everything will be cool. And so now he has to come up with information, because Sax and John Mark is actually telling him, we need some information now and right away. And so, you know, he's going to bring that information to him. And so actually, you know, Kanan actually telling Tommy that what we need to do is pit, you know, Cristobal and Dre against each other, because right now they're having the cartel is actually liking Cristobal more than they're liking Dre. So there's some problems going on. That's what he's hearing. He's going to create the problem to become even worse. And so we see how that situation go down. I'm just like, oh, this is just crazy. It's going in. And so it seems like, you know, so Dre and Cristobal knowing that there's some trouble going on, because people around him are getting robbed and getting killed, and, you know, his crew's in trouble, and he believes that it's actually one of Dre's boys that is actually doing it, but it's actually Kanan going around doing this. So that's the situation. And Dre believes Ghost and Tommy and Kanan are behind it, which he's right, they are. It's nothing to do with, you know, Dre's boys, because Dre's smart. Dre's very smart. So, you know, because he learned from the best, and he learned from the best, which is Ghost. And that's what Simon Stern tells Ghost, that, like, you can't deal with Dre. You created him. He learned from you. And that's why Dre hasn't been killed yet, because he learned everything from Ghost. So he's just as smart as Ghost. And then he has some teachings from Kanan and some teachings from Tommy. So he's a beast. And believe me, Tariq is going to become a beast too as well. So we'll see what happens with that situation. And Angela finds out that Tommy might be still selling drugs. That's what John Mark, and that's what, Sax believed too as well. So now she has trying to get the drop. She's trying to stop this from happening. So she reached out to Proctor and tell Proctor, hey, listen, do you want a practice log? And he was like, yeah. She was like, well, I need your help because Angela got the shot. So she calls Proctor. They meet up. They get Tommy. They let Tommy know that they have to drop on him with the Jimenez brothers and stuff like that. But Tommy knows he's not dealing drugs with them. He ain't working with the Jimenez brothers no more. He's out. Dre's in. And so he was like, oh, well, if you had any information on me, you would arrest me. And so Angela shows him that there's a track on his car. He's being tracked. And so he thinks it's a setup. He's not sure whether he should trust her or not. And then, that situation goes in. Then we got Councilman Tate just throwing shots at Ghost, and Ghost trying to deal with him and deal with that situation. So Ghost is in deep. And so then we have Kanan. He meets up with Kendrick Lamar character. I think his name was Flacco or something like that. And he speaks Spanish. And then Kendrick Lamar says to, Kanan, hey, listen, we all got to stick together, our Spanish people, this and that. So Kanan realized, okay, he can get close to the Spanish cartel. He can get close to, Cristobal people. And so he uses Kendrick Lamar to get close to him and close to them. And they go on a killing spree. And Kendrick Lamar is actually spitting knowledge and wisdom and saying like crazy theories, this and that. He's speaking Spanish and English. He's a crackhead with bad teeth, and actually one side of his hair braided and the other side not. That used to be a style in the 90s with the rappers like from Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep too as well, Method Man, and the Thuggish Rugged Bones too as well, with this style with them with one side braided, other side not at all, looking rugged. And then Kendrick Lamar actually speaking Spanish and English at the same time and setting things up. And he just, he was trying to first sell, Kanan some stuff. Kanan realized he can use them, and they went the whole day on a killing spree, killing Cristobal's boys, setting it up lovely. And seeing Kanan riding that bike and going pop pop, I was like, oh shit. And then it was cool, like the shit was funny as fuck. It was funny. And then also at the end, Kendrick Lamar was about to get killed by Kanan, and then Kendrick Lamar actually said to 50 had the gun at him. Kanan had the gun pointing at Kendrick Lamar like he was going to murk him. And so Kendrick Lamar turned around and was like, who are you? Who are you? Letting Kanan know that I don't know who you are. I have no idea who you are. Like he forgot who he was. So if he would have said, hey, listen, don't shoot me, Kanan would have shot him. You know what I'm saying? He would have shot him. But since he was like, I don't know who you are, and he's laughing and walking away and talking about he's nasty. And then 50 Cent talking about, Kanan talking about he's eating pussy and all this other stuff. He loves pussy. That's why he's not a vegan or a vegetarian, a vegan at all, because he got to eat pussy. I was just like, oh no. So that's that situation. That situation was lit. I was like, yo. And then Kendrick Lamar just speaking all the stuff that he was saying, the dinosaurs and chicken. Am I eating a part of a dinosaur? And talking about the cortex, the vortex, the brain. I was just like, yo, this nigga's lit. So it was on point. So I just really thought it was interesting, and I just liked the character. So then moving on from that, now we get the situation where Ghost is at Ghost actually outsmarted Dre, getting Dre kicked off the club. Like Dre's not in charge of the club no more because Ghost was like, yo, listen, we had a non-competitive clause with Dre. Dre signed it, so therefore, Dre's kicked out, working at the hotel club that he was working at, and Karen doesn't know this. So the fundraising event now will not be hosted by Dre anymore. It would be hosted by, Ghost at his club Truth. And Ghost gets there, he's drunk, he's intoxicated, he's watching, Dre's still there, he's upset that Dre's there. Simon Stearns points him out, and Ghost goes over there and tries to confront, Ghost is sitting at the bar. He's all intoxicated and everything. He's drunk. Councilman Tate come over there and try to talk to him. And it's just basically Ghost was trying to get, Dre to leave the event to bounce to go. And he's not able to get him to go or bounce because actually Councilman Tate said, I'm going to give, Dre a new job. So he'll be all set. So don't worry about it. And he needs to be here because, we got people that want to donate, and they want to donate because of Dre. So Ghost gets at the bar. He's getting drunk. He's forgetting to bring the cake home to Tasha for, Tariq's birthday party. So then that's the situation too as well. And so he's drunk, he's at the bar, the Reverend comes over there to talk to Ghost and like, son, it'll be all right. And then Ghost turn around and say, I ain't your fucking son, nigga. I was like, no, Ghost, that shit was so funny when he goes, I ain't your fucking son, nigga. I was like, what? And Ghost says that to the Reverend, not missing a beat. We need to see more episodes of Ghost being intoxicated. Ghost is at the bar, he's getting drunk. Councilman Tate and Dre comes over there to talk to him about, they reached the goal, it's a success. And so, Ghost is upset. Ghost is snitching. Ghost was like, yo, Andre doesn't deserve this opportunity. He's still selling drugs. He's still in the street. He's still doing this. So Ghost is out there snitching, like he don't deserve it and blah, blah, blah. And the Councilman Tate was like, no, you don't deserve it, because every time I mess around with you, it's always trouble. It's always a problem. It's always a situation. Ghost gets up and choked the shit out of Councilman Tate and was like, you know who the fuck and then he you don't know who the fuck I am. And so Councilman Tate said, you'll kill me over a bad business deal? Hell yeah, Ghost would kill you. Ghost killed a drunk that he ain't got nothing to do with. Ghost will kill you. You don't know who Ghost is. And Ghost is upset and Ghost is frustrated. He got too many problems, too many situations, and nobody to be his outlet, nobody to help him. But it seems like Angela is going to come through and has been coming through on the low, helping Ghost, especially with Tariq not being arrested, hiding the gun and hiding all that information, which she's supposed to be in charge of the criminal system. And she's not. She's a criminal herself. And so then Ghost realized what he's doing, because Simon Stern called him like, go, said, James. And so now James St. Patrick's like, damn, I messed up in his head. And so Councilman Tate was like, you done really fucked up, right? You done fucked up, right? And that is from, Lorenz Tate playing in his movie South Central. That was the cop said to one of the, the guys that he was actually investigating or interviewing, you know, fucked up, right? So it was so good that they can use that plot. If you actually say that on YouTube or Google, it'll come up and it'll have 200 million views, because people love that part of the movie. And so Ghost messed up kind of this situation, and now him and Councilman Tate is at war, and Councilman Tate has his enemy in with the streets and got money and got a lot of political power, where he's going to try to destroy Ghost. So that's going to be a bad situation. So we'll see how that shit plays out. And then we have Ghost. He goes to see the Reverend to make up and get some help, but he also gets intoxicated. He goes home and he gets into a big argument with Tariq, and he goes back and forth with Tariq. Tariq was like, I'm late. Ghost was walking in the house all drunk and all messed up, and you can tell. He got Tariq them Jordans, but Ghost did meet up with Angela. Angela totally forgot that it was, Raina's Raina's birthday, and she's actually was gone, but she feels some type of way, like she got love for Ghost or whatever. So we get back to, Ghost entering the house all drunk. He falls over in the couch, throws the present on the floor, and it was like, oh, you forgot the cake. Ghost didn't even come to the dinner. Tommy showed up, so it's like inconsistency. He didn't show up for Tariq. He lied to Tariq, so Tariq feels like abandoned right now, and Kanan texts Tariq and say, hey, what's up, fam? What's good? It's like 50 has an infinity for Tariq, but he wants to get closer to Tariq because Tariq can give him information and ultimately take down Ghost in the end after they take out the Jimenez and Dre. So now with this situation, Ghost was like, oh, I was busy working, blah, blah, blah. He was like, well, busy selling drugs, being a drug dealer, but Tariq doesn't know that Ghost ain't really selling drugs no more. And he was like, what are you talking about? And so Tariq is throwing shots and saying shit to him like, oh, you lied to me my whole life and all this other stuff. And that's the thing. Tariq always wanted to be told the truth. And his parents continue, especially Ghost, to lie to him. And he really wants to hear it from Ghost, because Ghost, as, hearing the story about his father being in the streets, being a criminal, he kind of like idolized that in a way, and just want to know where he came from, how they got all this. And that's why he's so much closer to Kanan, because Kanan told him the truth about his father and where he comes from. It makes him feel like he's important, that he's intelligent, that he means something. But one thing is important, where Tommy was actually real with Tariq when he called him a snitch. It was like, yo, listen, do you know Dre tried to kill me, Dre tried to kill your father, and he almost tried to kill Kanan, and he set you up with a gun shootout with Ray to get you killed, and now people tried to kill me. I escaped, but I gonna end up in jail or dead due to Dre, and Dre's our enemy. Why would you give him the drop? Because he feels like Dre always kept it real with him and made him feel like a man. So, moving back to this situation, he's confronting his father about being a liar and everything. But Tariq was going to take an overdose of pills because he found his mother pills because he felt like Tasha wanted him to be in debt instead of Raina. And she didn't say, she didn't use any parenting skills to say, no, baby, no, I love you just as much as I love Raina, and I couldn't bear to be without you. It'll hurt. It'd be like taking one of my arms away. And she didn't say that. Bad parenting. Where, and you know, she's Ghost and, you know, Tasha are the worst parents in the world. I don't care, you can give your child everything, but one thing a kid wants is to be told the truth. They want to know where they come from. They want to know the history of their mothers and their fathers, you know. So anyways, miss me with that bullshit. So then they're going back and forth. You know, James St. Patrick is trying to come after, you know, Tariq is talking big money shit. He's talking shit like, you ain't shit, you know, you're a killer, you're a drug dealer, you lie, you don't tell the truth. And he also says that, you know, if everybody hates you, you know, I hate you, mom hates you, nobody likes you, and the only person that did love you was Raina. If she didn't love you, if she didn't love you, maybe she'll still be alive, because, you know, she was the only one that loved Ghost, and that shit hit Ghost hard. So, you know, he tried to fight Tariq or whatever, and so basically just telling Ghost that nobody loves him. And so here comes Tasha. Now she coming out of her crying stupor, instead of comforting Tariq, saying, "Oh, you know what?" And it's actually Tariq's birthday. He got to go through this bullshit with his father not being there, and then his mother kind of like wishing that he was in the ground and not Raina. And so, you know, now she wants to come on and be a parent and stop Ghost from yelling at Tariq. Won't you just let it be, bitch? You know, you done kind of like told your son that, hey, it's okay if I would prefer you in the ground no matter what. You don't let your child feel that way. But at least one thing, at least you told him the truth, because Ghost went in. Ghost is falling all over the floor. So he goes to see Angela, and they gonna get it in, and maybe Angela can help out the situation with Ghost, and they can go up against John Marks and, you know, Sax. So we'll see how that goes down. And then on top of that, are the Italians really done with the situation? We'll see. Peace. I'm out. One love.